Have you ever felt like your own mind is your biggest opponent? It replays mistakes. It worries about a future that hasn't happened. It tells you stories that cause you pain. This is a battle we all face. But what if the key wasn't to fight harder, but to understand the game? The path to true mental freedom isn't about defeating your mind. It's about gently, wisely, and compassionately outsmarting it. Lesson 1. Identify the ego's illusions. The first step on this journey is to meet a character you know very well. This character is the star of your own inner movie. It is the voice that says I, me, and mine. It is the collection of labels you carry. Your job title, your role in your family, your successes, your failures. This is the ego. It is not an enemy to be destroyed. Think of it more as a mask, a costume you have been wearing for so long you've forgotten. It's not you. This mask loves to be right. It feels deeply hurt by criticism. It compares itself to others, feeling either superior or inferior. Its main job is to protect itself, to build walls, and to prove its own importance. The illusion is believing that this mask is the real you. True freedom begins the moment you notice the mask. You can start this practice today. When you feel a strong reaction, like defensiveness or pride, just pause. Ask gently, who is it that feels this way? Is it the vast, quiet awareness that you truly are? Or is it the character in the play, the one who needs to be important? By simply seeing this character for what it is, a collection of thoughts and stories, you create a little bit of space. You begin to see that you are not the story. You are the one who is aware of the story. This small gap of awareness is where your power lies. It's the first crack of light that breaks into a dark room, showing you that you are much more expansive and free than the small, insecure character you've been playing. This isn't about judging the ego. It's about recognizing its performance with a knowing smile. Lesson 2. Observe thoughts without attachment. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a peaceful river. Leaves of all shapes and sizes float by. Some are beautiful, some are plain, some are jagged. Your thoughts are exactly like these leaves. They drift into your awareness, and they drift out. Our typical habit is to jump into the river and grab onto every single leaf, especially the scary or exciting ones. We cling to a worried thought and are carried downstream into a whirlpool of anxiety. We latch onto an angry thought and are swept into a torrent of resentment. The practice here is to simply stay on the riverbank. You are not the leaves. You are the observer watching them float by. When a thought appears in your mind, a worry about a bill, a memory of an awkward conversation, a plan for tomorrow, you don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to believe it, fight it, or even push it away. Just notice it. You can even mentally label it gently. A thought about work, or simply thinking. Then you let it go. You watch it drift away on its own. It's crucial to do this without judgment. You are not a bad person for having an angry thought. You are not a weak person for having a fearful thought. They are just mental events, as impersonal as clouds passing in the sky. By practicing this observation, you create a profound separation. There is the thought, and there is you, the one who is aware of the thought. In this space, thoughts lose their power over you. They can no longer pull you into the turbulent water. You remain on the peaceful bank, centered and calm. This is a skill you can build moment by moment. It is the art of letting your mind do its thing without letting it disturb your inner peace. Lesson 3. Recognize suffering as self-created in life. Pain is unavoidable. We will experience loss, disappointment, and physical discomfort. This is a natural part of being human. A great teacher once compared this to being struck by an arrow. It hurts, but then, almost immediately, we tend to do something strange. We pull out a second arrow and shoot ourselves with it. This second arrow is our reaction to the first. It is the story we tell ourselves about the pain. The first arrow is the event. You lose your job. The pain is real. The second arrow is the story. I'm a failure. I'll never find another job. This is a catastrophe. Why does this always happen to me? This story, this second arrow, is the source of our suffering. Suffering is not the event itself, but the narrative of resistance, blame, and fear that we layer on top of it. The key to mental freedom is learning not to fire that second arrow. When a painful event occurs, the practice is to stay with the raw experience of the first arrow. Acknowledge the pain. Feel the sadness, the fear, or the sting of disappointment in your body without adding the mental commentary. Allow the feeling to be there, without the judgment and the catastrophic storytelling. Notice the urge to create a narrative, to blame someone, or to spiral into despair, and simply choose not to. This is incredibly empowering. It means that while you cannot always control what happens to you, you have complete control over whether you add a layer of suffering on top of your pain. You can choose to meet your difficulties with simple, open awareness rather than with a story that only multiplies the hurt. This distinction between pain and suffering is one of the most liberating insights we can have. It puts the power to end our anguish squarely back in our own hands. Lesson 4. Embrace impermanence. Release clinging. Look around you. The seasons change. The sun rises and sets. Your own body is different than it was a year ago. Everything in existence is in a constant state of flow. Nothing is permanent. This is a fundamental truth of the universe. Our minds, however, resist this truth with all their might. We try to cling to the things we enjoy. When we experience a moment of pure happiness, a part of our mind immediately worries, when will this end? We try to hold on to youth, to a perfect relationship, to a moment of success, as if we could freeze it in time. This clinging is a source of deep anxiety. It turns pleasure into a source of fear. At the same time, we desperately push away the things we don't like. We resist sadness. We fear failure. We fight against change we didn't ask for. This resistance creates tension and suffering. It's like trying to build a dam in a flowing river. The pressure just builds and builds. The path to freedom is to learn to flow with the river. It is to embrace impermanence, not as a sad truth, but as a liberating one. When you experience joy, dive into it completely, savoring it for what it is, a beautiful temporary gift. You don't need to cling to it, because you know that like all things, it will pass. And when you experience sadness or difficulty, you can meet it with the calm understanding that it too will pass. This doesn't mean you become passive or uncaring. It means you stop fighting reality. You learn to dance with the changing rhythms of life instead of trying to force the music to stop. Releasing your grip on how you think things should be allows you to fully appreciate them as they are. This acceptance is a profound source of peace, allowing you to find stability in the midst of life's constant, inevitable flow. Lesson 5. Cultivate non-attachment to outcomes. We live in a world that is intensely focused on results. We are taught to set goals and to work tirelessly to achieve them. This is not inherently wrong. The problem arises when we attach our entire sense of peace and self-worth to the outcome. We think, if I get this promotion, then I will be happy. Or, if this relationship works out, then my life will be complete. This way of thinking makes our inner well-being a hostage to external events we cannot fully control. Non-attachment is the art of separating the effort from the result. Imagine a skilled gardener. She lovingly prepares the soil, plants the best seeds, waters them diligently, and removes the weeds. She puts her whole heart and wisdom into the process of gardening. However, she knows that she cannot control the weather, the pests, or the ultimate size of the harvest. She does her part with excellence and then lets go of the outcome. Her joy is found in the act of gardening itself, not just in the final crop. This is the model for our lives. Put your full effort into your work. Speak your truth in a difficult conversation. Prepare diligently for a presentation. Do your best. And then release your grip. Your job is the effort. The outcome is not entirely up to you. This is profoundly freeing. It allows you to act with clarity and integrity, free from the paralyzing fear of failure or the desperate need for a specific result. Your value is not determined by whether you win or lose. Your peace is not dependent on praise or success. When you find your reward in the action itself, in the care, the focus, and the integrity you bring to the moment, you have found a source of contentment that no one can ever take away from you. You act from a place of inner wholeness, not from a place of need. Lesson 6. Practice mindful presence continuously. Our minds are incredible time-traveling machines. In any given moment, they are most likely to be dwelling in the past, replaying old conversations and regrets, or rocketing into the future, rehearsing for worries and anxieties that may never come to pass. The one place our mind rarely wants to be is right here, right now. Yet the present moment is the only place where life is actually happening. The past is a collection of memories. The future is a projection of the imagination. Your life is a series of nows. True vitality and peace are found by training the mind to come home to the present. This practice is not just for a meditation cushion. It is a way of living. When you are washing the dishes, you can be fully present. Feel the warmth of the water on your hands. See the sparkle of the soap bubbles. Hear the clink of the plates. When you are walking, feel the sensation of your feet connecting with the ground. Notice the air on your skin. When you are listening to someone, truly listen. Hear their words without simultaneously planning your response. This is mindfulness in action. Your breath is your most powerful anchor. Whenever you notice your mind has wandered off into the past or future, you can gently guide your attention back to the simple, physical sensation of your breath coming in and going out. Each time you do this, it is a small victory. You are training your mind, muscle by muscle, to be where you are. This continuous practice of returning to the now reveals the richness of ordinary life. You begin to notice the world in high definition. The taste of your coffee, the color of the sky, the sound of a bird outside your window, it all comes alive when you are truly present to experience it. Lesson 7. Challenge conditioned mental patterns over the years. Our mind develops habitual pathways, like well-worn ruts in a muddy road. When a certain trigger appears, our thoughts automatically travel down these familiar paths. For many of us, these ruts are negative. For example, the trigger of making a small mistake might lead down the automatic path of self-criticism. I am so stupid. I can't do anything right. The trigger of someone disagreeing with us might lead down the path of defensiveness. They wrong. They're attacking me. These are conditioned patterns. We've practiced them for so long that they feel like the truth, but they are just habits of thought. To outsmart the mind, you must become a gentle detective of these patterns. The first step is to simply notice them without judgment. There's that old self-criticism story again. By recognizing it as a pattern, you take away its power. You see it as a mechanical process, not a profound truth about who you are. The next step is to consciously and gently challenge it. When the self-critical thought arises, you can ask, is that really true? Or did I just make a simple human error? You can then choose to blaze a new trail. You can intentionally introduce a new, kinder thought. I made a mistake. And it's an opportunity to learn. It's okay. At first, this new path will feel unnatural. The mind will want to slip back into the old, comfortable rut. But with gentle repetition, you begin to carve a new neural pathway. Over time, a kind and realistic response becomes the new habit. This isn't about fighting your thoughts. It's about mindfully redirecting them. It's like being a loving gardener of your own mind, gently pulling out the weeds of old conditioning and intentionally planting the seeds of wisdom and self-compassion. Lesson 8. Let go of control and expectation. A vast amount of our mental and emotional energy is spent trying to control the uncontrollable. We try to control what other people think of us. We try to control how our loved ones should behave. We try to force our lives to match the perfect blueprint we've created in our minds. This constant effort to manage and manipulate reality is exhausting, and it is a guaranteed recipe for frustration. When the world inevitably fails to conform to our rigid demands, we feel anger, disappointment, and resentment. Closely related to this desire for control is the trap of expectations. An expectation is a pre-planned story about how something should unfold. When you place a firm expectation on a person or a situation, you are setting yourself up for suffering. If they fail to follow your script, you feel let down. The path to freedom involves the radical act of letting go. This does not mean becoming passive or apathetic. It means discerning between what you can influence and what you cannot. You can control your own actions, your own intentions, and your own responses. You cannot control the final outcome, the weather, the traffic, or another person's heart. The practice is to pour your energy into your own sphere of influence and to release the rest with grace. Instead of holding rigid expectations, you can cultivate open-hearted preferences. You might prefer for your friend to be on time, but if they are late, you can meet the reality of the situation with flexibility and understanding, rather than with anger born from a violated expectation. This shift from control to influence and from expectation to acceptance releases an enormous burden from your shoulders. It allows you to engage with life as it is, not as you demand it to be, finding peace in your ability to adapt and flow. Lesson 9. Understand freedom is an inner state. We are often conditioned to believe that freedom is an external condition. We think freedom is out there. We tell ourselves, I will be free when I have more money. Or I will be free when I get out of this job. Or I will be free when my kids are grown. We postpone our peace, making it conditional on a change in our external circumstances. But this is a profound misunderstanding. Have you ever gotten something you desperately wanted, only to find that the happiness was fleeting, and your mind soon found a new thing to worry about? True, lasting freedom is not an external state. It is an internal one. It is a quality of your own mind. It is the freedom from being a slave to your own reactive patterns. It is the freedom to experience a difficult emotion without being consumed by it. It is the freedom to choose a compassionate response over a habitual, angry one. It is the freedom from the constant craving for more and the constant fear of loss. This is a freedom that can be cultivated right here, right now, in the midst of your current circumstances, no matter what they are. You can be in a difficult job and still be internally free. You can be facing a health challenge and still be internally free. This is because this freedom does not depend on changing the world outside of you. It depends entirely on changing your relationship with your own mind. It is the realization that the cage you feel trapped in is not made of external bars, but of your own thoughts, beliefs, and reactions. The key to this cage is already in your pocket. Cultivating this inner state is the ultimate act of empowerment, giving you a sanctuary of peace that no person or situation can ever take from you. Lesson 10. Apply wisdom to disarm delusion. All of these lessons culminate in one essential practice, the application of wisdom. Wisdom, in this context, is not about accumulating intellectual knowledge. It is the ability to see things clearly, just as they are, free from the distortions of the ego, fear, and desire. This clear seeing is what disarms delusion. Delusion is the fog that our minds create. It is the belief that a fleeting pleasure will bring lasting happiness. It is the belief that our angry story about a situation is the absolute truth. It is the belief that we are the small, separate self that our ego insists we are. Wisdom is the light that burns away this fog. It is a moment-to-moment application of what you have learned. When you feel the sting of envy, wisdom is the practice of remembering that everyone's journey is different, and that clinging to comparison only creates suffering. When you feel yourself becoming attached to an outcome, wisdom is the gentle reminder of impermanence, allowing you to loosen your grip. When you are caught in a painful story about the past, wisdom is the tool that helps you observe that story as a mental object, separating the event from your self-created suffering. It is about asking simple, powerful questions in the heat of the moment. What is truly happening here, beneath my story? What is the kindest and clearest way to respond? Applying wisdom means you are no longer running on the automatic, conditioned programming of your mind. You are consciously intervening with clarity and compassion. You are using your understanding of the mind's tricks to skillfully navigate life's challenges. This is the ultimate meaning of outsmarting yourself. It is not a battle, but a dance of awareness. It is using the mind's own capacity for insight to see through its own illusions, leading you to a state of profound, unshakable, and authentic freedom.